Hey guys, welcome back to Talking Blues. Welcome back to another video. We hope you're all doing well today. Before we get into this video, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and turn the notification bell icon on to be notified when we upload. Now, let's get into today's video. So, today is Premier League Predictions Day. Oh boy, this is going to be interesting. So, we're just going to explain who we got in who we got in the table, where we got them, reason why, 20 seconds on each team, and then we're going to answer your predictions as well. Let us know your predictions in the comment section below. So, let's get straight into this. So, in 20th place, who have you got, Dad?
I've got Leeds.
Okay.
I just think they'll struggle without Bielsa, and, last season they were a bit hit and miss, and, I just don't think they're good enough to stay in the league. But
well, there we
just
go.
wait and see.
Yeah, exactly. So, in my 20th position, I've got Everton. They haven't got a great squad. They haven't got great players. Lampard is sort of a scapegoat in this in this case. I just think, they've made poor decisions in the market and they're just not going to do as well as everyone expects them to do. Dwight McNeil's not a great player. Calvert-Lewin's constantly getting injured. But yeah, I just think Everton, 20th place, sorry, you're going down. Moving on. So, in 19th position, who have you got?
Well, I've gone with Everton, funny enough, and I just don't think they're good enough either. They lost so many games, well over half a dozen games in a row. I just find Everton a mediocre team, and now they've survived the Premier League as long as they have. God only knows.
Exactly. So, moving on into in my 19th position, I've got Bournemouth. I believe they're going down straight away. They're the yo-yo team, like Norwich, like Watford. They're going up and down all the time. I've just seen it so many times. The parachute money helps them all the time. No good signings in the market. They've been unsuccessful in the market. They've not been that active either. Scott Parker is a good manager. I think he'll do okay. But I do think they're going to drop. I do think they back down into the Championship next season. Moving on into 18th position. Who have you got?
I've got Southampton. The last couple of seasons, they haven't been that great, No real goal scorer. The only decent player they got, in my opinion, is Ward-Prowse. Who's been quite long-standing with them. And, I just think they're heading for relegation zone. But what can you say?
Exactly. Moving on into my 18th position, I've got Southampton too. I feel like they're not going to survive. They signed Joe Aribo. They've got Adam Armstrong and Che Adams at top. Not real goal scorers, not prolific at all. They've lost Brozier. They've got good players. They've got James Ward-Prowse, but that's not going to help them survive much. I think they're confined now to relegation fodder. But here we go. So moving on into 17th position, who have you got, Dad?
Well, I got Bournemouth. Like you say, they are a bit of a yo-yo team, but they did phenomenally well in the league. In the Championship League to come up into the Premier. They've been here once before, and they beat us a couple of times, and I haven't got them down as a real threat, but I just think, they will struggle because, the league is harder now. And, this is where I've placed them, 17th, but it's only a prediction. And let's see what happens.
Exactly. So, moving on into my 17th position, I've got Fulham. I think they're going to survive. I think we've got a good team. They've got Mitrovic, he'll score a couple of goals. I do think, they've got a good squad, good foundations. Marco Silva's a decent manager. They won the league outstandingly in the Championship last season. The likes of Andres Pereira, and that player they've signed from Sporting Lisbon. I can't remember his name. But I think, Bernd Leno as well. They've got a great squad there. They've got great ambition to try and survive this season. And I do think they'll survive. So, 17th position for Fulham. Moving on into 16th position. Who have you got, Dad?
I've got Wolves. Yeah. Basically, they've become one of these mediocre teams. Now, they were, really fiery a few seasons back, and, they were always a dangerous team to play. Kicked our asses a few times in the past, but, I just see Wolves declining, season after season now, and, this is what it is. I've given them 16th place. That's my prediction.
So in 16th place, I swear you've been reading my notes. I got Wolves too. They've got a good team. They've got Raul Jimenez, Pedro Neto, Podence, Ruben Neves. Great players. But they need to add to that squad if they want to do better. They've been in the Europa League. They were in the Europa League a few seasons ago. What's happened since? Not a lot. They've got Bruno Lage in now. Portuguese manager. They got rid of Santo. And I just feel like they need to start making some signings if they want to progress. But, yep, that's my 16th position. So, moving on to 15th. Who've you got, Dad?
For 15th position, Aston Villa. One of the reasons, I say Aston Villa is, they didn't have a great season last year. They've had some great seasons. Especially the one game that stands out in my mind was the 7-2 against Liverpool. But like I say, Aston Villa, they're one of these teams, they're quite unpredictable to play. And, I couldn't think of anything else other than they're nothing special. And I've put, despite, having Steven Gerrard as their manager, I've put them in 15th place.
Okay, so in 15th position for my prediction, I've gone with Crystal Palace. Yes, they've got Patrick Vieira. Yes, they've got a good squad. They've got Eze, Zaha, Odson Edouard, Mark Weahey, Joachim Anderson. But they've lost Gallagher. And Gallagher was the guy to keep that team ticking over last season. He really virtually carried that team. And, I just don't think that Crystal Palace are going to do as well without Gallagher. I think they're going to struggle. That's my 15th position. Moving on into 14th position. Who have you got, Dad?
Well, I got Brentford. Brentford are fighters, since they've come up into the Premier League, they've shown their worth. They've got a decent manager, Tom Franks. But, they've had some good signings as well. Demsgaard, Hinkie and Lewis Poitier. But, again, mediocre team. But, they've beaten us in the past as well. That's ironic to say. But I don't think, they've got what it takes to get into the top 10 of the Premier League.
Okay, so in my 14th position, I've gone with Nottingham Forest. They've made some great signings. They've got a great manager in Steve Cooper. But they're a new team. They're going to take a lot of transition. There's all new players coming in. They've made like 7 new signings. They've got Jesse Lingard now. And I just think it's going to take a bit of settling in. And I think they're going to do okay. They will survive. But I don't think they're going to have the season everyone's expecting. So, moving on into 13th position. Who have you got?
Well, I got Fulham at 13th. Fulham in the past has been, one of these teams that, we've had a few scraps with. We've walked on the road and played them at Craven Cottage. You never know where they're coming from, Fulham, and what they got in their tank. But, they're coming back into the Premier League now, and I don't think they're going to, take anywhere above 13th position. But again, that's my prediction. Who knows?
Exactly. So, in my 13th position, I've gone for Leicester. I don't feel like they're going to do anything. They've not made any signings of note. They've lost Schmeichel. He's gone to Nice. I think it's Nice. But I really don't think they're going to do anything of note. They're looking a bit shaky. They looked a bit shaky over seasons past. And I just don't think, the team they once were, where they were fighting for 5th and 4th place. But yeah, who knows? They could turn it around. But yeah, that's my 13th position. Moving on into 12th position. Who have you got?
Well, I got Leicester. Leicester are not the team they were when they first came into the Premier League, and they won the title. But it has been in decline. The players are not hungry anymore, and this is why I've given them a 12th place.
Fair enough. So, moving into 12th place for me, I've got Leeds. I feel like they've made some decent signings. They've now got Patrick Bamford back. Will he be the same player after the injury? Not sure. Jesse Marsch is a good manager. He knows what he's doing. I just think Leeds are going to get a solid 12th. They struggled last season.
Relegated.
But you think they're relegated, but I don't. I think they're going to finish a solid 12th. But, yeah, moving on now into 11th position. Who have you got, Dad?
Well, I've got Crystal Palace in 11th. They will struggle without Gallagher, but, still some decent players in the team. Zaha, easy. Again, they're quite good on the ball. They can take you by surprise, and I'll give them 11th.
Fair play. So in my 11th position, I've gone for Brentford. I feel like they've made some good signings in Aaron Hickey, Damsgaard. I feel like they've got, a few good players in there as well. They've got Lewis Potter, young talent, good manager in Thomas Franks. They've reopened the academy now. They're really starting to put together a good team. They've got a good foundation built in the Premier League after last season. They had Ericsson. How will they fare without Ericsson? We're not sure. This is part of the reason I've only put them 11th. I do think they are staying in the Premier League, but 11th I've predicted. Who knows where they'll finish though. Moving on into 10th place. Who have you got?
Well, in 10th I've got Brighton. And reason being is, Brighton play their hearts out, in almost every game. They've got a great manager in Graham Potter. And, this is one team, don't underestimate. We've had our asses kicked in the past by them. They're very slippery as well. And I've given them 10th.
Okay, so in 10th position for me, I've put Aston Villa. I've put Aston Villa for a reason. I just think you've got Gerrard, he's an okay manager. They've made some nice signings in Diego Carlos, Kamara. Kamara. They've got Leon Bailey, Buendia, Felipe Coutinho, Danny Ings, Ollie Watkins. I think they've got a decent team there. I just think they're going to be settled in 10th place and they're going to have a half decent season. Moving on to 9th. Who have you got in 9th place, Dad?
Well, in 9th, I've got Newcastle. Okay, they've come on leaps and bounds, since their new takeover, new managers, and I just think, they're playing very well as a team. The synchronicity, the scores that have been recently. I just think, Newcastle will come up eventually. I don't think it's going to be this season. They got Sam Maximum, dangerous player. He reminds me of Didier Drogba, he's very dangerous. But I can't give him no more than a 9th. But again, it's just my prediction, guys, and that's where I think they'll end up.
So, in 9th position, I've gone for West Ham. They've made some decent signing. Agrad, the defender from the French League, they've just recently signed. They've just broken the release clause for Maxwell Cornet. They've got some decent players already. Jarrod Bowen, Declan Rice, Mikel Antonio, Pablo Fornals. I just don't think they're going to have a great season like they've expected in the past. I do think, though, they're going to be okay. I think they'll do well. They'll stay in the top 10. But, yeah. So, moving on into 8th. Who have we got in 8th?
Well, in 8th, I've got Nottingham Forest. Great manager, Steve Cooper. I think, he's got that team playing exceptionally well. Plenty of new players. Jesse Lingard. Um, you know, this club shines. And if we go back in history, to the 1980s, I think even the likes of Liverpool are going to start, cacking themselves, playing Nottingham Forest, their old rivals. They're fresh in. I'm giving them a prediction of 8th.
Good prediction. In 8th place, I've gone for Brighton. I feel like they've got a good squad. They've got a good manager in Graham Potter. I feel like they play good football. They've got some very good players. They've got Trossard, you've got Maupay, you've got Lamptey. They've just lost Cucurella to Chelsea. So unlucky there, Brighton. We've got your man. Ha ha ha. So I feel like they got a decent squad, and I'm putting them in 8th based on the way they played, the squad and the manager. I think they're going to have a decent season. They've just taken Levi Colwill on loan off us as well. I think he's really going to shine there. I think Graham Potter's going to make him into a fantastic defender. And I think we'll see him back in the Chelsea squad next season, looking like part of a unit. So, moving on into 7th. Who have you got, Dad?
Well, I've got West Ham at 7th. West Ham, again, one of these teams, unpredictable. They go out there, they play, all guns blazing. They can kick your ass. We've seen that, even with us, with Man City. But, all right, they still got Declan Rice. But the most I could give them is 7.
Yeah, okay. So, moving on into my 7th place. So, I've got a friend who supports Man United. Jamie, if you're watching this, I'm very sorry. I've put you in 7th place. So, I feel like this... Yeah. I feel like this is the reason I put Man United in 7th. They've got a good squad. They've got a good manager, but they're in a known quantity. We've seen in pre-season they look great. How they're going to fare in the Premier League against real opposition, we don't know.
No, there used to be that song, wasn't it? Glory, glory, Man United. Then it became sorry, Man United.
Yes. Sorry, Man United, you're not making it to the Champions League this season.
But who knows?
Moving on into 6th place. Who have you got in 6th?
In 6th, I got Tottenham.
Okay.
This is a team I despise of, really. But, they got great players, got Harry Kane, Song, and they are a dangerous team. Even though, they've had... poor games in the past, but then all of a sudden they sort of like revitalise and start taking teams apart. But this is a team I do despise of, especially being a Chelsea fan. So I've put Tottenham in at 6.
Fair enough. In 6th place for me, I have put Newcastle United. I feel like the signings they made in January, once we had the new owners in, there were some fantastic signings with Trippier, Matty Target, and Bruno Guimaraes. I feel like they had a great run of results towards the back end of the season. They were really looking great. They were playing fast, fluid football. Saint-Maximin was looking at the peak of his powers. They didn't have Callum Wilson. They had still Chris Wood for the latter part of the season. But once Callum Wilson started coming back into the squad, you could see the system Eddie Howe would like to play. I feel like they're going to do well this season. That's why I've given them 6th place. So, moving on into 5th. Who have you got?
Well, in 5th place, I got Man U. Basically, they've had poor starts to seasons, They've had Ronaldo. Ronaldo's had a bit of success, but he's getting older now. I just think they're not the team they were, over the last 10 years and before that. Since Alex Ferguson has gone, this team has been rapidly in decline. And, what's gonna help them? They've had corrupt owners. All sorts have gone on there at Man United, and they just can't get on this winning streak that they once used to be on.
Yeah, exactly. So in my 5th place, I've given it to Arsenal. I feel like they could do well. They've got Jesus, they've got Fabio Vieira, they've got all these great players, Gabriel Martinelli, Bukayo Saka, Alexander Zinchenko now too. I feel like they're going to do well. I feel like they're going to be a good team to watch out for this season, but I just don't think they're going to make that Champions League position. I just think they've been a bit out of touch recently. They've lost a lot of, players, good players. And I just really don't think they're going to make top 4. But moving on into 4th position. Who have you got, Dad?
I've got Arsenal.
Okay.
Again, Arsenal have been quite poor, in recent seasons as well. Under Arteta, I think, they had a poor start, then they sort of accelerated then, through the next quarter of the league. But, I think, they've got plenty of new signings. Jesus, he looks good. And when you look back, what they done a couple of weeks ago to us, okay, it was a friendly, but, they've also taken us apart in Premier League games, FA Cup games. They're a team not to be underestimated.
Exactly. So, in 4th place for me, I've gone with Chelsea. I feel like, we've made some good signings. Sterling, Koulibaly, Kukureya, Chukwuemeka. More signings to come. But I just feel like we're in a season of transition. And for that reason, I've given us 4th place. I feel like this could be the year we start to sort of build something and you'll start to see what we should look like under Thomas Tuchel. And I do think this will be a season now where we could probably build. But this is only a prediction. We never know we can never predict what will happen. For all we know, Chelsea could just run away with it. Chelsea could absolutely run away with it. Anyone could run away with the league this season. You just don't know. But Chelsea in 4th place for me. Who've got in 3rd place, Dad?
Well, ironically, in 3rd place, I've got Man City. Reason being, they've won it twice on the trot now. This is a side, that people fear playing. Why? They've been exposed multiple times, even by lesser teams. Just look, the week before last when Liverpool played them in the Community Shield. Nobody was, extremely on form there. They couldn't get the ball to Haaland to get in the net, and they were punished.
Exactly. So you feel this is going to be Man City's downfall?
Well, I don't want them winning this 3 seasons on the trot.
No, I don't think anyone does. I mean, so in my 3rd position, I hate doing this. I've never done it. I've put Tottenham in 3rd. Reason being, they've got great signings, a great manager, a great philosophy. They're building something. I'm worried about Tottenham this season. Look at Richarlison, Bissouma, Perisic, Longley, Kulusevski, Heung-min Son, Harry Kane. All of these fantastic players. They're going to build something special in time.
Well,
I'm scared. I'm scared of Tottenham this season. This is the only season I've ever been worried about Tottenham. Usually we batter them every season, but we're not. I don't think we're going to this season. The second game of the season, I'm very worried about. But in 3rd place, Tottenham Hotspur. So who have you got in 2nd place?
Well, in 2nd place, I've got Liverpool. Outstanding performances from Liverpool. Great manager, Klopp. They play with so much passion, with fire in their bellies. They play fast football. The players are in sync. It's not very often that they miss. Yeah, they know when to pull the trigger and get that goal. Especially with Mo Salah, and I'd give Liverpool 2nd place, and good on them.
So In my second place, I've given Liverpool second place. I think the fact that they've just signed Nunez, they've got Klopp, they've a great manager, great tactics, great football. You know, they've got Mohamed Salah. They've just lost Sadio Mane. I don't think it's going to be a title charge this season for Liverpool. I don't think they're going to win the title. I think they're going to have a good season, though. And I do think second place for Liverpool. So, moving on to the big one now. First place. Dad, who have you got in first place?
Well, no other than our own, Chelsea. Now, the reason I say this is, you know, okay, this team is in transition. This team, you know, we maintained our position in last year's Premier League. I think we got a strong defence now with Koulibaly, yeah. And, you know, okay, we still need that striker. But I think, you know, if we can play, you know, exceptionally fast football, play with the passion that Liverpool does, say, for example, yeah, and, you know, get that fire in their bellies, yeah, take the opportunities, do not stall, do not, you know, what I'm trying to say is when they're ready to score, you score, yeah, don't hesitate, get that ball in the net. We need to know exactly where the net is. And what I can say is, you know, we are building a team, it's transitioning, and, you know, I think we will sign somebody, hopefully, now in the January transfer window, you know, and I hope it's a great striker that we get, because basically that's all we need in the team.
Exactly. Moving on to my first position.
Here we go.
I've gone for Man City.
Not again. Not again. No,
I'm sorry.
No.
But I can't say anything else at the moment because Liverpool lost Mane. They're not looking 100%. Man City has just brought Haaland in. They've got a good squad. They've got a good manager. They've got good philosophy of football. And I just think Man City are going to run away with it again. And yeah.
Bloody hell.
But
I hope someone puts a curse on his ass.
I hope so. I hope so because I can't deal with it again. But if we have to put up with that again,
yeah,
who knows what I'll do. But moving on into Golden Boot winner, Golden Glove winner, Young Player of the Year, and Player of the Year. So, Golden Boot winner, I've gone for Heung-min Son. I think he's going to score 30 plus goals this season. You know, I think he's a good player. He came joint top with Mohamed Salah last season. So, yeah. Who have you got as your Golden Boot winner, Dad?
I would go with Salah.
Okay.
You know, I did think about Mason Mount, you know.
Mason Mount to get Golden Boot. No.
But, you know, when you look at the difference between him and Salah now. But yeah. I would go with Mo Salah definitely for Golden Boot.
Fair enough. Golden Glove winner, I've gone for Edouard Mendy. I think he's capable of keeping the clean sheets this season. You know, we've got a great defence now, and I think we're gonna do okay. Who have you got for Golden Glove then, Dad?
I would go with Alisson.
Okay.
Yeah, he's an exceptionally good goalkeeper.
Okay, so moving on to Player of the Year. My Player of the Year is going to be Kevin De Bruyne. He just does it every year, year in, year out, and he's just constantly a top performer. What about you, Dad? Your Player of the Year?
My Player of the Year. You know, I would go with N'Golo Kante.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, you know.
Fantastic player.
He's still a great player, you know, and yeah, he's the best midfielder, I think, in the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, moving on to Young Player of the Year. I'm going to put in this position Conor Gallagher. I feel like he can do a real job. I feel like he's going to really shine into Thomas Tuchel and in this Chelsea team, in that midfield. You know, with so many great midfielders next to him, I feel like he could really do a job. Yeah, Conor Gallagher. But let us know all your thoughts in the comment section below, guys. What's your relegation thoughts? What's your top four thoughts? Who do you think is going to make Europa League and Europa Conference League? Who's going to be your Golden Boot winner, Golden Glove winner, Player of the Year, and Young Player of the Year? Let us know in the comment section down below, guys. We'd love to have a conversation with you about it. Take care, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.